There are many Detroit organizations leading the charge of change in the city. Organizations like Detroit for Detroit, Detroit Harmonie, and Rep Your City may be on different paths, but the goal of building a better Detroit is the same.
Detroit Harmonie, the idea was I had started speaking to different people around my age from different cultures, and really noticed like this common bond, right, what we wanted out of our lives in Detroit and the city and lifestyle. And I really realized how segregated the city was, and because of the deep-rooted issues over the past several decades. And I was like, we have to figure a way to get leaders of these different cultural groups and communities involved together to do something like a common theme, so we can actually get our networks together like on a consistent basis. Because if Detroit's ever going to be relevant, right, in our region to be relevant to young people, we need what we are coining natural diversity. It takes a lot of work and energy to get people in a room and to tell the story and refine the story. So that was like a big piece of it, was getting a group of people together willing to put the time and energy into. And secondly, to be honest, a big piece of us was everyone that is involved in the organization when it comes down to race, religion, culture, we check that all at the door. So at first it was a hurdle to get over, but no one takes anything seriously or takes it personally when you're talking about culture. We all realize we're the same people. We have to actually embrace our differences. So we're building an army here at Detroit Harmonie, so we hope that you get on board, and if we don't figure this natural diversity thing out, we won't be relevant in the future.
Detroit Harmonie is a 501c3, and really our goal is to do three things. Is to engage, activate, and mobilize the next generation of social entrepreneurs, movements, and individuals who want to make an impact on Detroit. And we want to do that through three different ways. We want to be able to, one, pull these people together in mass groups and get them to congregate to create natural diversity. Second thing we want to do is we want to be able to provide funding for a lot of these groups who don't have the resources, the access, or the connections to get to the philanthropic dollars, the corporate dollars, or may not even have the structure to get the money that they need to push their organizations to the next level. And then the third thing we want to be able to do is we want to be able to measure it. What we've learned is that there are a lot of people who request sponsor dollars and money from organizations, but we don't know for the money that they're giving if it's effective or not. Is there real impact or change? So we're going to develop a scorecard with metrics to tell people how effective these organizations are and if the work really is making a difference. Before we start trying to spend money and do business together, we have to get comfortable around each other. Race in Detroit has been a big issue, and by the results of tonight, people are willing and ready. People want change. We know there's a lot of challenges, a lot of violence, but we're playing our part, and our part is building the structure. So once the police clean up the streets, they can come into something that's organized, business-oriented, and collaborative and inclusive. For example, one of the things that we did was we reached out to a lot of the multicultural organizations and neighborhood community groups who have been out here doing it for years. We don't want to compete with anybody. We've engaged them at the ground floor level and said, we want you to get involved. That's number one. Number two, we've engaged and got on board with a lot of these social entrepreneurs who saw a need and who so happen to be able to make money off of fulfilling a need or a gap in the city, and they're on board. And then I would say the other thing that we've done is that we've made a point to spread the word of diversity by doing what we say and saying what we do. So we go and engage different people, whether they look like us, talk like us, sound like us, or relate like we do. We go and engage them at the ground floor and get them involved. We're going to be doing social events like focus groups with multicultural audiences, and also we have a lot of activities with social and community good as well. So we really engage any and everybody.